Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Saunab and I love learning languages. And today in this video, we're gonna do something that no one has ever done. We're gonna ask every country in the world for a book in their language. And yeah, now let me explain how I got this idea. Now, a few months ago, I watched a video by Spaghetti Road where he asked every embassy, every country in the world for a flag of their country. Some of them sent him, some of them didn't. But anyway, and yeah, after watching that video, I knew like I would want to do the same, but things happen and like yeah, I just didn't think about that for a while, maybe. But yeah, a few weeks ago, probably like a month and a half ago, I was bored and I got the same idea. But I knew like I don't do flags on this channel, right? So I would need something else. And I also don't want to copy like what he did. So I needed something different. So I thought for a while and I was like, okay, why don't I do the same? But instead of asking for flags, I'm gonna ask for books. And yeah, that's how I got the idea. And over the last month or so, I've been researching about like embassies, like their locations, like, emails, like, I don't know, like how embassies work and like, how sending process works and everything. And yeah, that's all. And today now I'm gonna start like emailing all the embassies. And while I email, I will have to explain things about like embassies, about like these stuff, so that like you can follow the video up to the end, if you know what I mean. So yeah, let's begin the video right away. I didn't say the business intro this time, right? But yeah. And yeah, now as you can see, like I'm emailing them embassies, like as you can see here. And yeah, while I'm emailing, let me explain like all the stuff, like all the basic info about like embassies and all that. Now an embassy is like the representation of a country in another country. For example, like you have the American embassy in Japan. What it does is like it represents America in Japan. Like I don't know stuff about like visas, about like passports, and yeah, like diplomatic stuff and all that. Like that's what an embassy is. Now in Nepal, there's like only the embassies of like only like 25 countries. So for the rest, I will explain in a bit. And yeah, now what I'm gonna do first is like I will email all the 25 countries that have embassies in Nepal. Okay, I'm about to send the first email, which is to the American embassy. And yeah, I have written it, limited it. Okay, subject, cultural stuff. Dear American embassy in Kathmandu, I'm writing this cultural stuff. I'm someone I do work from. I do work English and linguistics from Nepal. And I'm currently working on a video on language to have their English and culture. I'll also distribute book to the following address, the address and anything work as long as it's in your language. Thank you. Yeah, I also gave them like the address, contact number, and my name. Not the real number, you get the point. And the first email, done. And yeah, now let me talk about embassies a bit. Now, since you know what an embassy is, I'm also explaining like what a high commission is. Now, a high commission is basically the same as embassy. Like it's 99%, if not the 100%, same as embassy, but it's a bit different. And that is like the rest of the world uses an embassy, while like some countries, about like 56 countries, most of them were like part of like the British Empire, but except like Rwanda and Mozambique and some other countries maybe. Yeah, these countries don't use embassies in each other's country, if you know what I mean. They use something called high commission. It's 100% the same, but it just has like a different name. And yeah, that's all you gotta know. And then now you have another thing called like UN permanent mission. It's not an embassy. It's like the mission, the diplomatic mission of a country directly to the UN. What it does is like the countries like they vote on like different things of like the United Nations. Like what they do is like I don't know, they attend meetings and all that. And yeah, that's basically that. And some island countries which don't have embassies, like some countries only maintain like 5 embassies worldwide. So for them, like UN mission is like alternative choice. But for this video, I won't use any UN permanent thing, any consulate and anything. Oh yeah, speaking of consulate is basically like, how do I explain it? It's like an embassy. Now imagine a country has like one embassy of a country. Mainly that's gonna be in the capital city. And if the country is super big and it needs like multiple branches of embassies, now those branches are called like consulates. And yeah, that's basically what you're gonna know. I will also keep explaining like other things if necessary later in the video. And then now Nepal is a small and like a terrible country, only has like embassies of like 25 countries in its capital, Kathmandu. So for those 25 countries, I will use one format of email. And for the rest, now New Delhi has around like 100 embassies which are like aggregated to Nepal, meaning like they can be used by Nepal too. But I didn't find the exact data, so for the rest, out of like 197 countries, I used the embassies in Kathmandu for 25, and for the rest, I will use like in different cities, which I will explain in a bit. But most of them are in New Delhi. So yeah, and for those countries, I will have like another format of email. So basically 2 formats. And yeah, now let me finish like emailing like first 25 countries, and then I will explain like things easily. It's a good life if you find what you love. Yo, so like right now it's been like I don't know 20 or 25 minutes, and I have emailed like all the 25 embassies in Kathmandu. Like what I've done is like I have got these papers, like let me show you, like 5 papers with like countries, their embassies in like different cities, and the emails. And now what I'm gonna do is like I'm gonna go with like continents, like continent wise. Say I'm gonna start with North America, and then go to South America, and then go to Oceania, and then go to Europe, and then go to I don't know Asia, and then go to Africa, and then like later on I will also mention like some countries, like yeah. I just wanna hit the floor, floor, floor. Yo, so like been about like I don't know 10 or 15 minutes, and I'm done with like I don't know North and South America. And yeah, for those two continents, I had only like two countries from Nepal, like Brazil and America. So for the rest, I mostly used the embassies of those countries in India, but a few I used like outside, like I used the Honduran embassy in Madrid in Spain, and then like some like super random, like Belize and Antigua, like they have high commissions, they don't have embassies. I already explained like the difference, and yeah, I used them from like London, and yeah, I think I used like the Haitian embassy in Hanoi, like super random, right? And yeah, like when I was researching about them, like I was like super surprised, like, oh, these countries have like embassies in super random countries, but they don't have like ones in like important countries. And also I used the St. Lucian embassy in London. Oh yeah, speaking of St. Lucia, shout out to Metro Boomin. Yo, so like Oceania done. And for Oceania, I did like most of the countries from Canberra. But for like some countries, I used like absolutely random ones, like the Palawan embassy in Manila, Philippines. I think I couldn't send them email, but yeah, it was kind of random, right? But for most of them, it's either Canberra or New Delhi. And yeah, now I'm gonna do Europe, and for Europe, it's kind of easy. Like most of them are from New Delhi, and I think one or two or three countries are from Beijing. And I'm gonna use the embassies in neighboring countries for like tiny, whiny countries like Andorra and Monaco. Yo, so like so far every continent done, like Africa, Europe, Oceania, America, Asia, everywhere done. Now we only have like four more countries. And yeah, for Africa I used like the embassies in New Delhi for most of them, but for some countries I used like either in Pretoria, either in like some European cities and like some other cities. I mean yeah. And for South Africa, since they have like 12 official languages and I'm learning one of them, Afrikaans, I especially said like preferably in Afrikaans. And yeah, now we have like four more states, and yeah, let me explain something about them. We have Vatican City, Palestine, Taiwan, and Kosovo. Now, Vatican City and Palestine are like UN observer states, meaning like they are not fully countries, but they are like parts of UN. And yeah, we don't do politics anyway. And for those two things, those two states or whatever, I'm gonna email them to New Delhi. And yeah, and speaking of that, now for other countries, for the rest of the world, they have either embassies or high commission, right? But for Vatican City, they don't call it an embassy, but rather apostolic. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that thing. Like just this thing. We have another two states, like partially recognized ones, meaning like they are still not countries, but like some people recognize them as countries. And yeah, they are like Taiwan and Kosovo. And for Taiwan, I'm gonna email the cultural thing. It's not an embassy. It's a cultural thing in Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia. And for Kosovo, I'm gonna email the Kosovo embassy in Berlin. I design everything in my life like yo, so like all 197 countries done. Well, kind of, because like for some countries, although I had emails, I couldn't send them. Like the moment I sent him, I would get a notification saying, "Oh, the email address can't be found. Oh, you can't send this email, whatever." And for one country, I think it was I don't know, I don't remember, Uzbekistan or something. I couldn't send them the email because their the email receiving capacity or whatever you call it was full, so whatever. But yeah, I couldn't send it, and yeah, I think I sent them emails to like I don't know 180 or 185 countries successfully. And yeah, now that's all. I will see you like in a few days with them replies. Couple hundred cities around the world don't know my name. Yeah. Yo, so like it's been around 10 days since I sent those emails, and yeah, some countries got the emails, some countries didn't, and like I have gotten like a few replies. So let's go over like all those replies. I have read all of them, like not gonna lie, but let me just go through like what they said like real quick. And of course, we're not gonna go over like automatic replies from like uh, the embassies. We're gonna go to like real replies. And yeah, the first country to respond to me was the German embassy. They said like, oh yeah, we have a book. You can collect it in Kathmandu from like reception desk or whatever they call it. And I said like, I don't live in Kathmandu, so can you deliver it to my house? And they said like, no, we can't. Sorry. And I said like, okay, that's fine. Thank you for your help. And after that, another country to respond was Mauritius. They explained about like their language Creole, and then they said like a book will be sent to you in future when it's available. Then another country after that was like Sweden. They said like unfortunately it's not possible for us to send cultural souvenirs or books. And then after that I got an email from the Vatican City saying they appreciate my interest in promoting linguistic and cultural, whatever through my initiative, but they can't send me anything because like their office is not in a position of like sending books and all that. After that, I got an email from what country was it? Oh yeah, from Andorra saying like we will be pleased to forward you a publication in Andorra's national language catalog. In this sense, we would need your complete postal address in order to send it to you. And I did send them like my city's postal code. You know what I mean? Like I think that's how it works. And I sent it to them, but like they haven't responded or sent anything. And then after a few days, I got an email from the Dominican Republic. They said like, although we can't ship any books to you, we have a few digital chapters that might be of your interest, and blah blah blah. I haven't looked at it. Let's look at it real quick. One of those files. They have sent me like a couple of files. It says like language variation and linguistic innate. I can't even read it. The patient statistics, the introduction. This might be interesting. I might give it a look later. And then after a few days, I got an email from Trinidad and Tobago in Delhi. They said like, we would like to come into one day report for doing this information and information. Currently, there's a book called Trinidad and Tobago Dictionary, which covers most of the slangs we use in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. We suggest you communicate your interest with the Trinidad and Tobago Commission in New Delhi is the address is installed. Of course, like I'm not gonna go to like New Delhi to get one book, but they reply. And then yeah, again after a few days, I did like talk to the Austrian government, but they didn't say anything. Like I sent them my city postal code, but I didn't get anything. Oh yeah, also the Philippines embassy, they emailed me the same day. I sent them the email, and they said like, can we see your YouTube channel, and also are you able to pay shipping fee and all that? And I said like, yeah, you can watch my YouTube channel, but I'm not gonna pay any fee. Like I'm just here to like see how countries promote their languages. I'm not like buying any books or like paying any money for that. And then yeah, at last like the Sri Lankan embassy, they called me on WhatsApp and we talked for like I don't know 2 minutes. They asked me like why I'm doing all this and like what kind of book I want and all that. And I said like any book would work as long as it's in Sri Lankan's language. And yeah, they said like they would notify me once the book is ready. They are searching for it. And yeah, after a few days, I again like I texted them on WhatsApp saying, yo, what about the book? I didn't say it with this tone, but you know what I mean, right? And they said like they are searching for it and they will notify me when it's ready. Now the mission is over. Now you see, the goal has never been to like get 197 books from like 197 countries. Like it's impossible, right? My goal was to like see how countries promote their languages, their culture, and whatever. Now, although I didn't get any physical books or anything, it's been like an incredible mission, incredible thing to do. Because like although I didn't get anything, I learned a lot about like embassies, about like how countries, how small countries, how small countries maintain embassies in like super random countries, about like a lot of stuff, like High Commission, like I don't know, Vatican mission, I don't know, like honorary thing, like I could have never learned about this stuff if I had never like embarked on this mission, on this challenge, on this project. Yeah, project, that might be a better word. It's not a challenge. And yeah, now you see, in a few months or in a few years, I'm not gonna think about, oh, I had a project in my mind about doing the embassy thing, but I didn't do it because like I was scared, or because like I thought it wouldn't work, it would not be possible. No, I'm not gonna be like that. I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, I had a project in my mind and I did it. Like it's been an incredible thing. I learned a lot from it. And yeah, like if you have anything in your mind, like any creative idea or anything, you just have to try it. Like you're not gonna lose anything. Matter of fact, you're gonna gain a lot of info, gain a lot of things about that. And yeah, so because like you never know like what it's gonna be like if you just never try. You just gotta try and like see like what's on the other side. Oh, I turned it into a motivational speech, but yeah, that's all. So like if you have anything creative in your mind, just try it. And yeah, like let me know how the video is. And yeah, that's all. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.